Standard 10, Subject English, Unit 1.5, Joan of Arc, George Bernard Shaw. A little information about our author, George Bernard Shaw, 1856-1950, was an Irish playwright and critic born in Ireland. He wrote more than 60 plays during his lifetime, including major works such as Man and Superman in 1902, Pygmalion in 1912, and Saint Joan 1923. He was the leading dramatist of his time. He was awarded the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1925. Let us read and understand this lesson, Joan of Arc. This is an extract taken from Bernard Shaw's famous play Saint Joan, known as Joan of Arc before her sainthood. Saint Joan or Joan of Arc played an important role in the Hundred Years' War between the French and the English. The given extract portrays the courage and conviction of Joan. Joan of Arc, a national heroine of France at the age of 18, she led the French army to victory over the English at Orleans. She was captured a year later and was burned at the stake as a heretic by the English and the French collaborators. Joan was canonized. She received sainthood, or she was canonized as a Roman Catholic saint more than 500 years later on May 16, 1920. So we will read this extract, Joan of Arc, which is taken from Bernard Shaw's famous play Saint Joan. This lesson is in the form of a play. Before we begin reading the play, in your textbook there is a background given of the play. The war fought between England and France from 1337 to 1453 has come to be known as the 100 Years' War. And Joan was a peasant girl born in eastern France who led the French army to several victories during this war. The play begins at the time when all of northern France and some parts of southwest were under foreign control. The English controlled some parts. This is the British flag, and the Burgundians controlled the other. The city of New Orleans, which was one of the few remaining French cities, was held by the English. So this is the background of the play. We shall now read the play. The year is 1429. Captain Robert de Bourdicourt, a military officer, is seated at the table. His steward stands facing him. Robert, I told you to throw the girl out. You have 50 armed soldiers and dozens of strong servants to carry out my orders. Are they afraid of her? Steward, no, sir, we are afraid of you, but she puts courage in us. She really doesn't seem to be afraid of anything. Perhaps you could frighten her, sir. Robert, grimly seriously. Perhaps. Where is she now? Steward, down in the courtyard, sir. Robert goes to the window and asks the soldiers to send the girl up. The girl enters. She is well-built, strong country girl of 17 to 18 years. The squire's glare neither frightens her nor stops her. The meaning of squire is a person of high rank. She speaks confidently. Joan, good morning, Captain Squire. You are to give me a horse and armor and some soldiers and send me to the Dauphin. The meaning of armor is a protective clothing of metal or leather worn in battles by soldiers in former times. Dauphin is the oldest son of the King of France, the one who would become the king or the heir after his father. Robert. This girl is mad. Why didn't you tell me so, you blockhead? The meaning of blockhead is a stupid person. Steward. Sir, do not anger her. Give her what she wants. Robert. I shall send you back to your father with orders to put you under lock and key. Joan. You think you will, squire, but it won't happen that way. You said you would not see me, but here I am. Robert. So, you are assuming that I'll give you what you want? Joan. Yes, squire, continues busily. A horse will cost 16 francs. It is a big amount, but I can save it on the armor. I don't need beautiful armor made to my measure. I can find a soldier's armor that will fit me well enough. I shall not want many soldiers. The Dauphin will give me all I need to free Orleans. Robert, shocked. To free Orleans? Joan, simply. Yes, squire. 3 men will be enough for you to send with me. Polly and Jack have promised to come with me. Robert, you mean Monsieur de Polengi? Joan. Yes, squire. Jack will come willingly. He is a very kind gentleman, and gives me money to give to the poor. I think John Godsave will come, and Dick the archer, and their servants, John of Horncourt and Julian. There will be no trouble for you, squire. I have arranged it all. You have only to give the order. Robert to the steward. Is this true about Monsieur de Polengi? Steward, eagerly. Yes, sir, and about Monsieur de Metz too. They both want to go with her. Robert goes to the window and shouts into the courtyard. Send Monsieur de Polengi to me, will you? He turns to Joan. Get out and wait in the yard. Joan smiling brightly at him. Right, squire. She goes out. Robert to the steward. Go with her. Stay within call and keep your eye on her. I shall have her up here again. The steward retreats hastily. Retreats goes. Bertrand de Polengi, a French guard, enters, salutes, and stands waiting. Robert. She says you, Jack, and Dick have offered to go with her. What for? Do you take her crazy idea of going to the Dauphin seriously? Polengi slowly. There is something about her. It may be worth trying. Robert. Oh, come on, Polly. You must be out of your mind. Polengi unmoved. What is wrong with it? The Dauphin is in Chinon, like a rat in a corner, except that he won't fight. The English will take Orleans. He will not be able to stop them. Chinon, one of the cities in France where the royal family resided during the Hundred Years' War, the Dauphin took refuge in Chinon. Robert. He beat the English the year before last at Montages. I was with him. Polengi. But his men are cowed, and now he can't work miracles. And I tell you that nothing can save our side now but a miracle. Robert. Miracles are all right, Polly. The only difficulty about them is that they don't happen nowadays. Polengi. I used to think so. I'm not so sure now. There is something about her. I think the girl herself is a bit of a miracle. Anyhow, this is our last chance. Let's see what she can do. Robert, wavering. You really think that? Polengi, turning. Is there anything else left for us to think? Let's take a chance. Her words have put fire into me. Robert, giving up. Phew, you are as mad as she is. Polengi, obstinately. We want a few mad people now. See where the same ones have landed us? Robert, I feel like a fool. Still, if you feel sure. Polengi, I feel sure enough to take her to Chinon unless you stop me. Robert, do you think I ought to have another talk with her? Polengi going to the window. Yes, Joan, come up. Joan enters. Polengi gravely. Be seated, Joan. Robert, what is your name? Joan. They always call me Jenny in Lorraine. Here in France, I am Joan. The soldiers call me the maid. Robert, how old are you? Joan, 17. So they tell me. It might be 19. I don't remember. Robert, I suppose you think raising a siege is as easy as chasing a cow out of a meadow. You think soldiering is anybody's job. The meaning of raising a siege is surround from all sides and attack, removing the forces surrounding a place. Joan, I don't think it can be very difficult if God is on your side. Robert grimly, have you ever seen English soldiers fighting? Have you ever seen them plundering, looting, burning, turning the countryside into a desert? Have you heard no tales of their prince, who is the devil himself, or of the English king's father? Joan, you do not understand, squire. Our soldiers are always beaten because they are fighting only to save their skins. The meaning of this phrase to save their skins is to save their lives. And the shortest way to save your skin is to run away. But I will teach them all to fight for France. Then they will drive the soldiers before them like sheep. You and Polly will live to see the day when there will not be a single English soldier on the soil of France. Robert to Polengi. This may all be nonsense, Polly, but the troops might just be inspired by it, though nothing that we say seems to put any fire into them. Even the Dauphin might believe it. And if she can put some fight into him, she can put it into anybody. Robert turning to Joan. Now you, listen to me, and don't cut in before I have time to think. Don't cut in is don't interrupt. Your orders are that you are to go to Chinon under the escort of this gentleman and 3 of his friends. Joan, radiant, clasping her hands. Oh, thank you, squire. Polengi, how is she to get into the royal presence? Robert, I don't know. How did she get into my presence? I will send her to Chinon, and she can say I sent her. Then let come what may. I can do no more. Joan, and the dress? I may have a soldier's dress, squire. Robert, take what you please. I wash my hands of it. Joan, wildly excited by her success. Come, Polly. She dashes off. Robert, shaking Polengi's hand. Goodbye, old man. I'm taking a big chance. Few other men would have done it, but as you say, there is something about her. Polengi, yes, there is something about her. Goodbye. A short character sketch of Joan of Arc, the heroine of France. Joan of Arc. Joan, a well-built, strong country girl, a peasant girl of 17 to 18 years, is brave and courageous and unafraid of anything. She is confident and asks directly whatever she wants and is sure of getting it. She is optimistic, positive, and feels that if God is on one's side, one can do anything. She is determined to go to Orleans and motivate the Dauphin to fight the English and save Orleans. Squire Robert and others feel that if anyone can put some fight into the Dauphin, we know the Dauphin was hiding in Chinon, it is Joan. So Squire Robert and others feel that if anyone can put some fight into the Dauphin, it is Joan. She's extremely patriotic and confidently says that she will motivate the French soldiers to fight, and soon there will not be a single English soldier left on the soil of France.